Michael Maloco from Maloco and Associates would be in the studio. He's arrived. How are we doing this afternoon, Michael?
Very well, thank you.
Good. You're here to basically do the first ever radio West Fife property slot, so it's kind of exciting.
Exciting stuff,
indeed. First, a couple of wee questions just for you, if you don't mind. How long have you been in the business for?
I've been in the business longer than I care to remember. I've been in the business for 27 years. I did my training for 2 years in Edinburgh and came back to Dunfermline the year before my wife and I got married in 1986. Came back and been in Dunfermline ever since.
So you know your stuff, you know the local market.
Hopefully.
And just before you came on air there, you were telling me a little story that relates to one of the properties you've got on the market now. May I just say, a property I certainly couldn't think about buying because it's at the top end of the range.
Absolutely. What I did was, with this being the first one, I thought I'll grab some schedules of properties that might be of interest to listeners and show the sort of wide range of what is available within Dunfermline. So the one that you're referring to is St Mungo's in Low Causeway in Couris, which we currently have on the market. It offers around £525,000. So is tonight a lottery night? I think or tomorrow. So
it would have to be for me to afford that property.
So if the lottery comes up, this is why I brought it along.
Gorgeous.
It's a very interesting property, beautiful property. You can see full details on our website. The interesting thing about it is that it stands on the site of great historical interest because part of the building dates back to 1666 when Robert Sands, known as a girdlesmith, now it's not a griddle smith but a girdlesmith, built it with the proceeds of his trade. And the research we did on this property along with our client showed that in Couris was one of the only places in Scotland where you could make girdles. Now, a girdle was a skillet-style frying pan used for the manufacture of Scottish bannocks, drop scones and oat cakes. It was in fact a protected industry and it required the official seal and warrant of the Crown and Church before a licence was granted. Now, when Mr Sands died, that grant and warrant didn't automatically pass on to his wife. In those days, no such thing as equality. But she continued to manufacture said girdles and was forever being dragged before the magistrates and fined and all the rest of it. So I think it would be the perfect property for a strong-minded woman with an interest in home baking.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
How many bedrooms does that property have?
That one
tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. Well, a very large property. We have flexible accommodation, but we have basically 6 bedrooms. We have 3 with en suites, 3 public rooms, conservatory, garden rooms, and the most wonderful gardens to the rear. So quite wild, rambling gardens, but well maintained, but of the more wilder sort of variety. Wonderful views out over the estuary. Lovely property.
Couris is absolutely gorgeous as
Great
well.
Place, so we've seen good sales figures there recently.
Despite it being out with my budget ever so slightly, I would say that would be a cracking investment. It's a gorgeous property. What else do we have?
What else do we have? Well, going to the other end, and you mentioned investment. We have a little flat on at the moment in Forest Place in Townhill, and that one is currently on the market at fixed price, £55,000. Now, that one needs very, very little done to it at all. And in terms of investment, that would probably return for you at the moment if you were letting that one out. Because it's a 2-bedroom flat, you could possibly be looking at about £525 per month in rental there.
Wow.
So it's almost a 10% yield, which is a whole lot better than you'd get in any bank or building society at the moment. So at the other end of the market, with a little bit of investment, there's good returns to be made. And we have a number of properties of that type on the market at the moment.
And again, Townhill, a very nice area as well.
Good area.
The walk around Townhill Loch. And
great.
It's just somewhere where you can get out and about
absolutely
very easily into the countryside.
Yeah, so that's good. And then sort of mid-range, I mentioned Townhill, we have a lovely little detached stone-built bungalow in Townhill Road at the moment. Very, very high spec finish in that one. That's 3 bedrooms again, and that one's currently on at offers around £165,000. In that area, we've seen great sales recently. We've just sold today one in Methven Drive. We've had 2 round the corner in Christie Street, all of which have gone within just a few weeks of being on the market. We really are seeing a big pickup in activity in the last number of weeks. In fact, I was reviewing figures this morning, and we're up 30% on sales at where we were this time last year.
No, that's definitely something to boast about in the current climate.
Been really good.
I mean, when people are buying a property, is there any advice you offer them? What I should say is, what are people looking for just now?
Sure. Again, you tend to find that the lower end of the market and the first-time buyer flats are still a little bit slower. The reason being that whilst lending's become a little bit more relaxed from banks and building societies, it still requires, in the majority of cases, first-time buyers to come up with a deposit of about 20%. Even at, say, a flat at 70,000, that's 14,000 plus your fees. It's coming up to about 15 grand. It's a lot of money. Yeah. So the bank of mum and dad quite often have to step in there.
You sound like you speak from experience here.
Experience, that's right. The better areas of the market, I say we've seen a lot of good stuff going sort of below the £250,000 stamp duty level. Above 250 you move into 3% stamp duty. So the traditional homes between about 175 and 250 have been going remarkably quickly. We had another one in Camden Street went just in, I think, 4 days. Recently. Eastern expansion, very popular now, very well established area. May interest your listeners to know that over the last 3 years the KY118 postcode, which takes in the Eastern expansion and Pitcorthy, has been the most popular postcode for house sales in Dunfermline for the last 3 years.
Wow.
It's the 7th most popular postcode in the whole of Scotland. 3-bed, 4-bed family homes in that region there. A 3-bed semi, you might be looking at about 120,000, up to the bigger 4-bed mid-range at 200, 250, moving well, because families need, if you have an expanding family, you need to get out there and get something bigger. So across the board, been very encouraging.
These properties you featured there, these were all traditional, slightly older building. Well, some of them very old. I noticed you had a new build there as well.
Absolutely.
To take a look at.
One of the newer ones up near Queen Margaret Gate, up by Queen Anne High School. And that's a 3-storey townhouse. And that one's on the market at offers over 169,950. I think Home Report on that one's 175. And again, very flexible accommodation. A lot of accommodation to be had there, because you're looking at 4 bedrooms, master bedroom with ensuite, family bathroom, downstairs WC, lounge, large dining kitchen, and really quite, what would you say, maybe quite funky in the way it's laid out and use of light and space.
Very modern looking.
Very modern looking, yeah. I mean, townhouses aren't something traditionally we see an awful lot of in Scotland, and when these were built at Queen Anne Gate, and we've also got them in Edgar Street. We just sold one in Edgar Street that's down by the Fife Council
the old
centre.
Dunfermline and West Fife Hospital.
No, absolutely. Yeah. how perfect. But down by the old hospital, and that again just sold after a couple of weeks on the market. And these, there's a new style of living for Scotland. When they first came here, they do present good value for money, because they're on quite a small footprint, and therefore the build cost hasn't been quite as large for the builder, and so they've always presented good value for money.
Excellent stuff. I've picked up quite a lot there, I must admit, Michael. That's absolutely brilliant. How can people get hold of you if they need any direct information or advice?
Fantastic. Well, and obviously there's our website, www.maloco.co.uk. On there they'll get all the contact details to get in touch with us. We offer totally free pre-sale valuations for those thinking of selling homes, and initial meeting for anyone looking just to discuss what's involved in either buying or selling, completely free of charge. Again, just get in touch with the office. We'll set up a mutually convenient time, sit down, have a chat.
Michael, thanks for coming along to Radio West Fife today.
Thank you very much. Hope that's been of interest.